What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing very well. We're going to talk about Brewmaster Monk today. Grab your coffee, relax, kick back. We are going to talk about the Brewmaster tree. We did Windwalker and the class tree before, so we're just focusing on Brew today. I am going to go over a little bit of what the class tree gives to Brewmaster, and then we're going to get right into the talents. Lots of good stuff happening in the Brewmaster tree. A couple talents are kind of out of place, but they've got some good options for healing and recovery. They get lots of talents that are currently competing for one another on the tree, so that's really cool. Yeah, we're going to go over the whole structure of it. Let's start with the class tree at the very beginning. I just want to highlight the fact that you get a lot of extra tools for Brew. For example, on the mobility front, you get Tiger's Lust and Roll and Chi Torpedo if you want it. So you could have 2 charges of Chi Torpedo and Tiger's Lust, or 2 charges of Roll and Tiger's Lust. You're going to get the 1-minute cooldown. Sorry, the 2 minutes off of death, Touch of Death. So you're getting a 1-minute Touch of Death, which for Brewmaster is very, it's significant for all 3 specs. But for Brewmaster, it, pauses your stagger damage or reduces the stagger damage. What's it do? I think it, gets rid of your... reduces delayed stagger damage by 200% of the damage dealt. So it has a significant defensive, portion to it, which making it a 1-minute cooldown is a significant bonus to your defenses, which is very cool. You're getting access to Dampen Harm and Diffuse Magic, which we're currently right now are competing talents. You're getting access to Chi Wave / Chi Burst and Eye of the Tiger, which are currently competing talents. So lots of really good quality of life buffs to Brewmaster Monk, and you have to remember how much power is being gained by getting access to talents that currently share the same row, because that is a massive boost in power, because it's just the design of the talent rows is to force you to choose depending on what situation you're going into. Do I need Diffuse Magic for the magic stuff, or do I need just a straight damage reduction from Dampen Harm? Well, now I get both of them. That's crazy, right? So always remember the power level there, that you don't have to choose a lot of those things anymore. Something in my nose. Okay. Let's jump right into the spec tree. I don't want this video to be too long. So right off the bat, let me talk about the structure. It's okay. There are some misplaced abilities, in my opinion. So, Breath of Fire and Celestial Brew being in the second section here, past the 8 talent mark, is wrong. Those should be up here, and things like Stagger and Shuffle should just be baseline. I'm not really sure why these are here like this. For example, if you look at the Warrior talent tree, it, has just Revenge and Ignore Pain, but, all of your passive stuff is kind of already baked into your character, or it's on the class side. So even big abilities like Thunderclap are on the class side. Shield Slam is just baseline for Warrior. You don't have to spec into that, right? So I don't know. I think that particularly the 2 passive ones for Windwalker are a little frustrating. Stagger and Shuffle both being choices you have to make. I understand that's part of building a Brewmaster Monk, but I just feel these either have to go baseline, or at least you have to move Celestial Brew and Breath of Fire up into this top section, because it just doesn't make sense that you have to go hard left to get your core abilities. These are core rotational abilities. If you don't have Celestial Brew, you're kind of missing. I could not take Celestial Brew on my Brewmaster. That's very strange. That doesn't make any sense to me. So these need to be moved, I think. Couple issues there, but otherwise the tree's actually quite good. There's a lot of tools here that are all scattered around. The left side's kind of like a Breath of Fire, and then it's got Bone Dust Brew at the bottom. You got lots of Breath of Fire stuff here. The middle is your big cooldowns. Healing Elixirs right in the middle, which is a little bit strange, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Niuzao is here. Exploding Keg is back, and then Storm Stout's last Keg is back as well, which is very, very good. That was a good legendary. The right side just has a bunch of mix and match of different abilities. One being Zen Med is back, and it's back in a big way, and I'll talk about that in a minute as well. And then Weapons of Order at the bottom. So let's just jump right into it. Let me get into, very first, I want to talk about recovery and healing, okay? So What are we losing in Dragonflight? One of the biggest things that you're going to notice about this tree is that there is no longer a tier set bonus for Brewmaster Monk. So the tier set bonus, the major part of the tier set bonus was when you throw your Keg Smash, it heals you for like 66% of the damage and then gives you maximum health for 66% of the damage as well, which paired very well with Storm Stout's last keg, of course. So that is no longer on the tree. So that's a massive amount of healing that monks had in Shadowlands since we've had access to the tier sets, and like you're not going to have that anymore. So what do we do instead? Where's the recovery coming from for Brewmaster Monk? Well, first of all, as I said before, you've got Eye of the Tiger and Chi Wave. You've access to both of these now, okay? Which means you're getting like double the amount of healing from that talent row that you were getting right now. So that's really nice. That's a good start. On top of that, you still got Expel Harm, which is really good. Over here, you're going to get Healing Elixir, and you get 2 charges baseline for 1 talent point. That is an amazing talent point, actually. Getting 2 charges of that. So that's really good. You're no longer fighting between like Dampen Harm and Healing Elixir. I mean, Brewmaster didn't even get Dampen Harm, I don't think, right? Yeah, oh, you did. Sorry. But you don't have to fight between Bob and Weave, Healing Elixir, or Dampen Harm. You can actually kind of get all 3 of them now. So, but just straight up healing, we've got Eye of the Tiger, Chi Wave, Expel Harm, Healing Elixir, okay? 1 minute Touch of Death, which interacts with your Stagger, right? Very, very good. You have Celestial Brew, which is an Absorb Shield that you put on yourself. And now you also have Gaia Plin's Imperial Brew, Purifying Brew instantly heals you for 25% of the Purified Stagger. Or you can go Strength of Spirit, which buffs Expel Harm's healing, but I think that this is going to be way better. The Gaia Plin's Imperial Brew is got to be better. So there are ways to heal yourself. There's a significant amount of ways to heal yourself. On top of that, of course, you get Gift of the Ox. When you take damage, you have a chance to summon a Healing Sphere. Moving through it will heal you. You can pull in that Healing Sphere with Expel Harm, right? Of course. And you're also going to get Celestial Fortune, which is down here. You have a chance equal to your critical strike chance to be healed for an additional 65% of the amount healed, okay? Very, very good. So there's a lot of healing here, and you're getting more than you had in Shadowlands. Just for sure, just baseline. On top of that, you're getting more defensives than you had in Shadowlands baseline. You get Bob and Weave, you get Dampen Harm, you get Diffuse Magic, which you didn't even have access to. You couldn't even get Diffuse Magic as a Brewmaster. So I think you're going to be a lot stronger overall, even though you're missing the tier set bonus healing. There's a lot of other ways to heal yourself, okay? So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Next, let's talk really quickly about all the talents that we get now, okay? I want to mention this because it's always really important to bring this up. So for starters, let me get this here. For starters, again, as I've said multiple times already, you're going to get Eye of the Tiger, you're going to get Chi Wave or Chi Burst. You get that choice note, okay? So you're getting 2 out of the 3 there. You can get Serenity or Chi Torpedo and Tiger's Lasso. So again, 2 out of the 3 talents there. You can get Light Brewing and Spitfire and Black Ox Brew. So Light Brewing is here. Black Ox Brew is on the other side, right? Where'd they put it? Here with Bob and Weave. So either you take Bob and Weave or you take Black Ox Brew, right? So that's important to know, okay? That'll matter later when we get down to the Healing Elixir thing, but Spitfire is technically still back. It's actually right here. It's called Sol Salabim's Strength. I don't know, I'm probably saying that wrong, but when you use Keg Smash, the remaining cooldown on Breath of Fire is reset. That's way better than Spitfire was, actually. Spitfire basically just said your Tiger Palm has a 25% chance to give you Breath of Fire back. This says when you use Keg Smash, you're guaranteed to get Breath of Fire back. So much, much better interaction. So you're getting Spitfire in a better form. You're getting Black Ox Brew right here underneath Bob and Weave, and you're getting Light Brewing if you want it, okay? That's very good. Summon Black Ox Statue is over here, and Ring of Peace is here, and Tiger Tail Sweep is up here as well. So you can get all 3 of those talents. Okay, now Bob and Weave you can get, and you get Healing Elixir, and you can get Dampen Harm on the right-hand side here, and you can get Diffuse Magic, which would have been in that row for like Windwalker and for Mistweaver. So like, again, guys, So much there. Now you would have to choose Bob and Weave over Blackout's Brew, so you're down 1 talent point there. But you see what I'm saying? You do get Rushing Jade Wind up here or Special Delivery. That's the other side of Rushing Jade Wind. And then you can get Exploding Keg down at the bottom, which has a very, very cool interaction with Anvil and Stave. We'll get to that in a minute. You can get Celestial Flames over here. You can get High Tolerance down here. You can get Blackout Combo down here. So I always want to highlight for you guys how many talents you are now getting in Dragonflight. It is insane. That alone is an increase in power level equivalent to getting like a whole bunch of new borrowed power systems, right? Think about all the borrowed power systems we get and all the different abilities that we get. You're getting all of that already in this new talent system because you're able to get so many of these talents that right now we're currently locked behind because you can only choose one of them. So always important to understand that connection, okay? That we get all these extra talents for free. Not for free, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, top section of the tree. Let's start with the top section of the tree. Again, really quickly, I want to say I don't think that Stagger and Shuffle should necessarily be here at all. I think one of these should at least be baseline. And then you should bring up Breath of Fire and Celestial Brew up to here, but whatever. You got Purifying Brew. You've got Gift of the Ox, like we said before. You have a Hit Scheme. Dealing damage with Blackout Kick has a chance... increases the damage of Keg Smash. Very good because you can get double Keg down here, right? Now, Healing Elixir is here. Very, very good. It wasn't typically taken all the time for Brewmaster. Usually Bob and Weave was like just straight up better. Because if you're taking big, big hits in like a raid scenario, only healing for 15% of your maximum health is nowhere near as good as delaying more of that massive damage that's coming in. But you get both now. Shuffle, Rushing Jade Wind, or Special Delivery is here. And Special Delivery is very strong. It might have even better synergies now because you can take Exploding... because you've got Fortifying Brew on like a lower cooldown and stuff. I don't know. You'd have to see. But it's still there if you want to take it. If you don't like the spammy nature of Rushing Jade Wind, then you don't have to take it. Also, Rushing Jade Wind won't cost you any chi. Don't worry about it. You don't have any chi. Okay. Then you've got Quick Step. Why won't that... what's happening here? Oh, I don't have any points left. You have Quick Step. Quick Sip. This is a very interesting talent here. Every 3 seconds of Shuffle, you gain... purifies 1% of your damage delayed by Stagger. So you're essentially like always healing. Every 3 seconds you're healing for part of your staggered damage, right? So not actual health, but the stuff that you're staggered. The 30% of the damage that you didn't take and that you're now staggering, every 3 seconds 1% of that goes away. So like it's not that much, and it's a 2-point talent. If this says instead of 1%, it says every 2%, it purifies 2% of your... That's actually way stronger and might be very, very good. 1% is like a little low. I know 1% and 2% is only a 1% difference, but I'm telling you guys, it might make a big difference if that's a 2% note. So we'll have to see. Overall, the top section's fine. I just feel like instead of like Quick Sip and Rushing Jade Wind, you could put in Celestial Brew and Breath of Fire. Put those up here and put Rushing Jade Wind and Special Delivery down in the middle section. It should definitely be down in the middle here. These are like core, fundamental, rotational abilities. And it's weird to have them all the way down here. Like I literally have to take 1, 2, 3. I have to take 8 talents before I can get my shield or my Breath of Fire ability. Like it just doesn't make sense. Okay. So having said that, section number 2. Lots of Breath of Fire tech on the left here. We have Celestial Flames, which is currently one of the last capstone talents you can get in Shadowlands. So this makes your Spinning Crane Kick apply Breath of Fire, and Breath of Fire also reduces the damage taken by an additional 5%, right? Breath of Fire reduces the damage that enemies deal to you by 5%. This adds another 5, so you have 10% damage reduction against all those targets. Very, very good in Mythic Plus, where there's multiple enemies and you're reducing damage by 10% on all those enemies. Very, very good. It is a proc, though, and it doesn't always proc that often. You know, it's not bad, but only a 30% chance for it to proc is kind of whatever. You have Celestial Brew and the Celestial Brew rank 2 effect, which is just baseline in Shadowlands, which says when you're pressing Purifying Brew, you increase the absorb of your next Celestial Brew, and you can continuously stack this. Okay, you can keep stacking this up, from what I understand. I'm not sure if you can stack it up in Dragonflight, but you can in Shadowlands. Purifying Brew gets an extra charge. That is a good talent. I think Purifying Brew being down here is a bad talent. It should be up here, but this should be in the second row. This Purifying Brew giving it a second charge. Even though that's baseline right now, This is the same way it's been with a lot of the other classes. They have to pick up some of their baseline abilities just in the tree. We just have to get used to that, guys, okay? Staggering Strikes. This is a BFA Azurite trait that wasn't very good, and they need to tune the numbers on this so that it is good. I think 100 is just a placeholder. If this is tuned correctly, it will be a very, very good talent. On top of that, if it actually synergizes with some of the other Blackout kick tech we've got going here, then it would be very good. So, like, the way this is worded says when you Blackout kick, your stagger goes down. It doesn't matter how many targets you hit with Blackout kick. It just says when you Blackout kick. I hope it should say for each target that you hit with Blackout kick, your stagger goes down by 100, because then you could take Shadowboxing Treads and Blackout kick could hit additional enemies, and you could have some synergy there, right? Where I'm investing into these two talents so that when I Blackout kick in Mythic Plus, I hit 3 targets, and then it reduces my stagger more so than if I'm in a single target raid environment, in which I wouldn't take this at all. I feel like that's a great talent choice. That gives you a choice, right? If I'm going into Mythic Plus, I'm going to take these. If I'm not in Mythic Plus, if I'm in a raid, I'm not taking them. I'm choosing something else. That would be good synergy there. So I do hope that they change the way this is worded and make it synergize with Shadowboxing Treads, because that's a really cool gameplay, extra little gameplay loop that Brewmaster gets to participate in. Okay? More Breath of Fire stuff. We've got Keg Smash dealing 20% more damage. That's a conduit right now in Shadowlands. When you use Keg Smash, the remaining cooldown on Breath of Fire is reset. This is amazing. This is Spitfire 2.0. It's way better than Spitfire. Not even close, because you can combine this with Storm Stout's Last Keg, and of course have 2 charges of Keg Smash, and just like Keg Smash, Breath of Fire. Keg Smash, Breath of Fire. Like, you're not going to do it back-to-back like that, but you see what I'm saying? You can basically do a full Breath of Fire build and have control over when you get to use your Breath of Fire to maximize the damage reduction that you're getting from Celestial Flames and Dragonfire Brew, which is a new idea here. So this is really cool. After using Breath of Fire, you breathe 2 additional times, each dealing more damage. Breath of Fire damage is increased by up to 100% based on your level of staggers. This is like a Mythic Plus Breath of Fire build, right? You combine this with Storm Stout's Keg. It's all about Keg Smashing and Breath of Firing. That's basically your whole build. Or you can go Charred Passions, which was the legendary effect in Shadowlands. Your Breath of Fire ignites your right leg in flame, causing your Blackout kick and Spinning Crane kick to deal more damage, double damage in fact, and refresh Breath of Fire on the target. So again, has Mythic Plus written all over it, right? In a big pack, you jump in, you throw your first Keg Smash, then you breathe fire on everybody, and then you start spinning. With Spinning Crane Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, you just spin, and do double damage and continuously refresh Breath of Fire, and you're taking 10% less damage because of Celestial Flames. It's just really, really good. And then when you get to a boss, you're using Blackout Kick to do double damage and continue to refresh Breath of Fire as well. So I actually love all the Breath of Fire synergies here. I think they're very, very good. I just think Breath of Fire should be up on the top part of the tree, okay? Second part of Fortifying Brew here. Fortifying Brew increases your stagger effectiveness by 15% while active. The entire Fortifying Brew that's here is a nerfed version of the live one. The live one gives you 20% max health and 20% reduced damage taken. But you can reduce the cooldown of it by 2 minutes, or you can give yourself dodge and armor, 25% dodge and armor, which is very, very good. You could combine Fortifying Brew with something like Anvil and Stave. Each time you dodge or an enemy misses you, the remaining cooldown on your brews goes down by 0.5 by 1 second. That's insane when you combine it with Fortifying Brew. So some really cool synergies going on there as well with dodging, and I like that a lot. Okay, that's the left side. Bob and Weave versus Black Ox Brew. That's there. If you want Black Ox Brew, come get it. But Bob and Weave will probably be the most common choice there. Niuzao is here. Of course, we'll get to him later. Here we've got, after you successfully dodge or an enemy misses you, you gain 10% movement speed. It only says 5, but it should be 10 if you put 2 points into it. Once again, synergizing with this Fortifying Brew buff and with Anvil and Stave. I think Anvil and Stave is literally going to be mandatory for any build, by the way. We'll get to it in a minute, but this should be like a capstone. It should be at the bottom. It's so incredibly powerful. Now you have Zen Med. Let's talk about Zen Med really quick, because right now Zen Med, doesn't really necessarily get used. Maybe like for pure min-maxers who are really, really good and know what they're doing. But It reduces all damage you take by 60%, but if you get hit by a melee attack or take any other action, it stops Zen Med from working. So you can block like one attack with Zen Med. So like for Sludge Fist, maybe it's good, but like a Sludge Fist type fight, but it's kind of bad. But now, Fundamental Observation says Zen Med has a 25% reduced cooldown, so now it's only a 3-minute cooldown instead of a 5-minute. Right? Did I do that right? No, 4-minute cooldown instead of a 5-minute. 4-minute instead of 5. And it's no longer canceled when you move or when you're hit by a melee attack. So you can now use Zen Med on a 4-minute cooldown as another defensive ability. You have Dampen Harm, you've got Diffuse Magic, you've got Fortifying Brew. Now you're also going to get Zen Med because you can move while doing it, and a melee attack won't block it, won't stop it from going off. Only a magic attack, if I'm reading this correctly, only a magical attack will stop it from happening. So it does have some limitations, but by and large, guys, in Mythic Plus, in particular, and in a raid fight even, you are taking physical damage as a tank. You're getting auto-attacked by the raid boss or by all the minions. And having the ability to stop 60% of that damage is incredibly good on a 4-minute cooldown. So love this. I think it's a great change, a very, very good button for Brewmaster now to have. Clash is back, which is kind of cool. A little random, but it's cool that it's here. Facepalm is really bad. Actually, the title of this talent exactly sums up how bad it is. This is literally a facepalm talent here. This is like a callback to Legion here. So if you look right here, Legion has a thing called facepalm. It says Tiger Palm has a 10% chance to deal 300% of normal damage and reduce the remaining cooldown of your brews by 1 second. Okay, that's fine. But now it's a talent over here. In Shadowlands, it was a legendary. Brewmaster legendaries. I should have brought this up before, but hopefully they show me all the legendaries. I just don't want to just see the ones that you think are good. They're not going to show me, are they? Anyway, guys, there's a legendary for Brewmaster right now that here we go. I'll find it here. Chair Passions. Oh, they're not even going to show it, are they? Here we go. Shanho's Might. So, Tiger Palm has a 40% chance to deal 300% of normal damage and reduce the remaining cooldown of your brews by 2 seconds. So this is a massively buffed version of this talent that's coming into Dragonflight. But the 10% chance is just really bad. Like, this is really bad as a 10% chance. I don't even care if you want to drop the damage on this. You drop the damage on it and make it so that it's like a 50% chance or a 70% chance to do 100% more damage and reduce the cooldown on my brews. That would be way, way better. A 10% chance to do giga damage is very bad. So they need to just adjust the numbers on this and make it so that it's similar to the actually to the Windwalker one, which I'll show you right here. The Windwalker one is really, really good. So the Windwalker one says your Tiger Palm, every 15 seconds, your next Tiger Palm generates an additional chi and does double damage. That's great. That's exactly what the Brewmaster one should be like, or some version of that. This whole 10% garbage is garbage. Okay? Okay. Shadowboxing Treads. I talked about Blackout Kick strikes additional enemies, or Fluidity of Motion. Blackout Kick cooldown reduced by 1 second, and its damage is by 10%. Very, very good on Brewmaster because Blackout Kick has no cost. It just reduces the cost of your brews, it's a very, very good ability for Brewmaster. As far as I remember, it doesn't have a cost. I was using it today. I think it's free. I could be wrong though. 3 chi for Windwalker, but I think for Brewmaster and Mistweaver, it's just free. It just has a cooldown. That's all it is. It just has a cooldown. So reducing its cooldown even further is fantastic. This last talent in the middle row is kind of strange. Shocking Blow. Crackling Jade Lightning deals less damage and has a cost of 40 energy, but is now instant and causes Blackout Kick to shock them, dealing nature damage. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It's really out of place. Am I going to really stop tanking for 1 second to press Crackling Jade Lightning for 1 GCD and then to press Blackout Kick? Like, is the damage that substantial. Like, this just doesn't really make any sense. It's a very weird talent. I think they could bring in a lot of other talents that would be good here, and I don't know why this is here. So I hope they get rid of this, honestly. Okay, the bottom section of the tree. Let's get to this here. We have the Breath of Fire stuff like I talked about. High Tolerance is back. This is a nerfed version of High Tolerance. High Tolerance on live is 5% more stagger effectiveness. But remember, because you're getting all these other talents that you were locked in the trees before, you're getting a lot more effectiveness of stagger already. So they don't actually need to make this so crazy. So High Tolerance is there. Pretty good. Bone Dust Brew is here. And then the Bone Dust Brew Conduit and Legendary effect are both here. So if you liked Bone Dust Brew as a Brewmaster monk, then it's here for you. And it does get cooled down as a brew. It's only a 1 minute cooldown, so it actually is going to get cooled down like way quicker with the way that it works for Brewmaster. Like Keg Smash, for example, cools down your brews by 3 seconds, right? So lots of good synergy there, and it's going to give you more damage and more healing. I think it'll help you heal yourself as well. So that's kind of cool, but I'm not a fan of Bone Dust Brew, but it's there. Niuzao is here, and then Niuzao buffs. This is a conduit right now in Shadowlands, so abilities that grant shuffle, reduce the cooldown of it, and make his stomp do more damage. And then you've got Invoke. This is rank 2. Purifying stagger damage while Niuzao is active increases the damage of his next stomp. So he does a lot of extra damage while you are sort of managing your stagger correctly, okay? And purifying stuff. Then we have Storm Stout's last Keg. Keg Smash does more damage, additional charge. That feels kind of mandatory at this point on Brewmaster, I'm not going to lie. But that's why it's in the middle of the tree. So you can basically take it with any build that you're running. I would say you could basically take that. Then we have Exploding Keg is here, which is very good. Again, this used to compete for other talents like Rushing J Win or Special Delivery. And I think that you didn't always want to take Exploding Keg because it had such a long cooldown. Rushing J Win was kind of like the standard, but now you can choose and you can get Exploding Keg. So getting Exploding Keg as a 1 minute cooldown in Mythic Plus is completely outrageous. It's so strong when you're also getting things like Rushing J Win, when you're getting damage reduction coming from Breath of Fire, you're getting all the extra tankiness over here. So like this is just an added bonus, and in particular in Mythic Plus, it's very powerful. It's also powerful with Anvil and Stave, and we're going to talk about this for a minute because this is a very good passive. Every time you dodge or an enemy misses you, your remaining cooldown of your brews is reduced by 1 second. So this is like completely crazy for Brewmaster because you're always dodging. You're getting Elusive Brawler like all the time. That's one of the passives that you get as a Brewmaster. And then right over here, you can actually take this ability. Let's do this. You can take Blackout Kick, deals more damage, and Blackout Kick critical hits grant an additional 2 stacks of Elusive Brawler. So anytime you get hit, you get a stack of Elusive Brawler, which gives you a high chance to dodge the next incoming attack. And it stacks up until you dodge, and then it resets down to 0 again. Blackout Kick is a chance to just give you 2 stacks of Elusive Brawler right away, which again massively increases your chance to dodge, which is very strong. And if you're dodging, you're reducing the cooldown of your brews. So I feel like this combo right here is going to be insane. And then this is also insane. When you throw Exploding Keg at enemies, it causes them to miss their melee attacks for 3 seconds. So in Mythic Plus, you've got 10 mobs around you. You run in and you pop some brews for a minute. You get yourself kind of established. You start shuffling, get Rushing J Wind up. You take a little bit of damage, and then you throw Exploding Keg down. And now all the enemies are missing their attacks, and they're reducing the cooldown on the brews that you just used. You could pop, like, Celestial Brew and then throw Exploding Keg, and then just watch Celestial Brew just go brrrr. Now, I'm assuming there'll be an internal cooldown on Anvil and Stave. I don't really know, but this combination is insane. It's also insane with the Fortifying Brew change as well, because you get 25% flat chance to dodge when Fort Brew is up as well. And again, Fortifying Brew is another brew, guys, and it gets reduced by Anvil and Stave. So this feels like a kind of a mandatory combination to me for Brewmaster. because of how strongly it synergizes with the entire brew kit, that you're reducing the cooldown of Celestial Brew, you're reducing the cooldown of Purifying Brew and Fort Brew. It's really, really important that you do that. And it's just a massive, massive quality of life, I think, for Brewmaster Monk. I think it's going to be really, really strong. Dodging, again, getting more dodge is good, more dodge over here, and then causing enemies to miss their attacks, all funneling back into your brews, which is just a really great, like, this is great design. This is exactly the kind of design that you want in the game. So that is that there. Let's keep going. Just back these up for a little bit. Blackout combo is here. Again, this was on your capstone for Shadowlands. This is the last one in Celestial Frames, High Tolerance, and Blackout combo. Wasn't really taken that much at all because High Tolerance is just kind of better. Now you can get High Tolerance and Blackout combo. So you might see Blackout combo a lot more now, especially because there's a big emphasis on Blackout kick in this tree. The benefits here are strong. They also buff the Breath of Fire one. So Blackout combo used to reduce the cooldown on Breath of Fire by 3 seconds. That's what it does right now on live. But if you go over here and take like Salabim's Strength, Keg Smash reduces the cooldown on Breath of Fire. You don't have to do that anymore. So now what it does for Breath of Fire is the periodic damage of Breath of Fire is buffed by 50%, and the damage reduction goes up by another 5%. So like, if you take Celestial Flames and all the flame stuff, you can have 15% damage reduction on anybody that's got your Breath of Flames on them. That's really strong. 15% DR just all the time for Monk, for Brewmaster, is crazy because you're already staggering 30% of incoming damage. So it's like you're almost ignoring 50% of incoming damage with Brewmaster now if you're doing this kind of build. Okay, so Blackout combo might actually be a really good talent now, especially with the Breath of Fire build. But also with Keg Smash, it makes you go from reducing your brews to down by 3 seconds to down by 5 seconds. So it's just very strong in general. And it's just that High Tolerance is like a little bit better, but now we get both. So again, very, very strong. Counterstrike over here is really cool, actually. Again, with the dodging or missing tech going on here. Each time you dodge or an enemy misses you, your next Tiger Palm or Spinning Crane Kick deals 100% increased damage. So like crazy amounts of damage you could get here. Crazy amounts of damage, guys, where you're running this elusive brawler, Anvil and Stave thing, and with Exploding Keg, you throw Exploding Keg out, and you Breath of Fire everybody, and like everybody is missing you, and they're reducing the cooldown on your brews, and then you're getting this trigger on Counterstrike over and over and over again because they keep missing you, right? So I feel like Counterstrike would be up all the time, and your damage would go up as a result. So that's very cool. Finally, we've got Weapons of Order here, and then the legendary effect for Weapons of Order, or the Mechanicos Soulbind effect for Weapons of Order. So Weapons of Order, I think, is a 2-minute cooldown. I have to look at it. I can't remember, guys. Somebody let me know. But so I'm not sure how much it actually... I think Mechanicos would reduce the cooldown of it by 40 seconds, if I'm not wrong. So that means you'd have a 1 minute and 20-second Weapons of Order instead, which would be really cool. But the Call to Arms part of it is very strong because Niuzao is really, really good, right? Getting 12 seconds, sorry, of Niuzao is incredibly strong because he takes 25% of the damage delayed by stagger is instead given to him. So that's very, very good to have him out. Weapons of Order is generally just very good. It gives you more mastery, which gives you more chance to dodge. The elusive brawler stacks go up much more quickly, and it gives you more damage. And on top of that, it resets the cooldown on Keg Smash. You can throw Keg Smash again, which reduces the cooldown on your brews. I mean, Weapons of Order is just very, very good. So I like this cooldown being here. Okay, that's the whole tree. Now, there's so much here that I've covered. I think the most popular thing that I kind of want to talk about is that the amount of combos that you can get with the dodging and the missing. Like, I think they're really trying to get Brewmaster Monk back to its roots. It's not just about throwing a Keg Smash and healing yourself for your entire health bar anymore. Like, that's not what you're going to be doing. You're going to be playing Brewmaster the way that it should be played, which is this elusive, kind of dancing tank that's in the front, and he's like dodging and dipping, and he's shuffling damage off to the side and purifying it away, and then he's dodging and dipping around and reducing the cooldown of his brews every time he's dodging. He throws a keg at you that explodes, and now you're missing all your attacks, and he's further reducing the cooldown on all of his brews, and he's just drinking brews and dancing around. Like, that's kind of the style that I think Blizzard's trying to go for Brewmaster Monk, and this tree really helps you get back, I think, in that kind of lane. That you're really going to get back to the actual way that I think Brewmaster Monk is meant to be played. Right now, it's literally just people throwing Keg Smash, and it's like, and spinning, like with spinning crank kick. Like, it's just not really what they're supposed to be doing, I don't think. And now with all the actual defensive and healing buffs that you're getting from the class tree, you're going to be set up to be very, very strong defensively. And then you're also going to be able to set up this dodge kit down here that really allows you to play Brewmaster, I think, the way that it's supposed to be played, where you're dodging and dipping around and you're reducing the cooldown of your brews. And that's the gameplay loop right there. And I think that's exactly how it should be done. And I'm really excited for what Brewmaster has to have in store here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Another special announcement, I'm doing this in all my videos. On August 29th, guys, I am doing a 24-hour stream on Twitch. Come watch me on Twitch. We're going to be playing some WoW. We're going to be playing a couple of other games as well. Definitely come in, tune in for that. We're going to be having a lot of fun. I'm going to be staying up for 24 hours on the Monday, I think, right? Monday, August 29th, into the Tuesday. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Definitely come and check that out. Check the Discord. It's all linked up in my Discord. So join my Discord. You can see the date. I have it all in the announcement section there. Okay, so thank you once again for watching, guys. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.